Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Welcome to Just Wing It with Blake and Jamie. How are you today? Hi, Lily. Thanks for coming in. So, what did you eat tonight? I'm going to be a little jealous. Just waiting on Blake. Remember, tonight we're going to be reviewing Groundhog Day. Hi, it's Paprika. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. So, what did you eat tonight? I didn't. I didn't really eat anything tonight. I wasn't in the mood. And here is Blake.
Hello. How are everybody? How is everybody?
Good, good. Just asking them what they ate. What did you eat?
It was spaghetti tonight. What about you?
Mm, I didn't really eat. Work's been very stressful today, and I just wasn't in the mood.
Uh,
But oh,
um, Go
Paprika
ahead.
had a peanut butter sandwich and a cup of mashed potatoes for dessert. Mashed potatoes for dessert?
Oh, hey, real quick, one of our viewers, Francesca, prayers for her husband. Poor
Yes.
guy. I don't know if you saw, but you can tell.
Yes, yes. I guess he was a victim of a hit and run and broke his leg, I think. Is
Yeah,
so hopefully yeah, praying for her. Thank
yeah.
you for that, Blake. Yes.
Poor guy. That's terrible.
I'm sure Ken can relate.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
hi
That's
DD, thanks. How are you doing, DD? Thanks for coming in.
Other than today, you said it was stressful. How's the rest of your week?
It's it's getting very, very stressful.
Yeah.
So
Well,
hi Alyssa.
hopefully soon they'll send you off to a different one.
Yeah, they extended me till April, so I'm gonna try my
Oh,
hardest to.
goodness.
I'm gonna try my hardest to get through it, and I probably, if it doesn't get better, I may not accept another extension.
Well, whatever it is, I it sounds like it's always some chaos whenever you go to one of these uh hospitals that just they're stuck in their ways, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, and people don't like change, and that's fine. Um, I mean, it's hard. Change is hard for everybody, and
You'd be surprised how much change could end up being for the better on the other end. And that's me as a business owner. It's just that understand that so much because I'd rather continue doing what I'm used to than learn something new.
yeah,
It's like an employee that you may not like or get along with too much, but dang, they're good at their job, so it's better to keep them around than to try and find somebody new.
yeah, you're right, Ken. People don't think about that, and you got to remember, anytime I come in, it's a change and it's disruptive, because whatever happened to the person prior to me, um, whether they retired or left, quit, got fired or whatever, it's very disruptive. And
You're there for a reason. Something
yeah,
must have happened. You know what I mean?
exactly. And they need help, and that's why they bring me in. And so, you know, every facility reacts a little bit different, um and some people may be or might be on board and some people aren't, and that's fine. And um but sometimes it can be challenging. Hi,
Yeah.
Joshua. Thanks for coming in. We love you so much as well.
I couldn't agree more. It's hard, but I I just it, as long as you can keep your center, keep your peace at the end of the day, that's what matters. And then if it starts rocking that, then you need to change.
And it's kind of getting to that point. So but I don't like to be the one to say, you know what,
April
bring some.
seems so far away too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could always say, you know what, I'll stay here until you get a new interim in, but that looks bad too. Um, so I
Yeah.
don't. I'm just gonna try to stick it out.
I
And
hope it gets better.
I always try my best, and I always do what is needed for the patients and what's best for the patients in the facility. And sometimes that's disruptive to people, because yes, they are for the patients, but if it affects them, then they, you know, just like
They're
healthcare is politics, right? Just like politicians, too. They want to do what's best for the country or the state or the county they're in or whatever whatever they're in. And I don't really want to get into politics, but the, a lot of times, sometimes they're persuaded by what's going to benefit them, right? So
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you go in admitting all these promises and giving people all this hope, but you're preaching to people that don't understand that you're just one vote, you're just one act. You can't just make it happen like that. And whatever they promise you is just it that already tells you that it's in their favor because they can't guarantee these things that they're promising you. They really
yeah,
can't. I mean, sure, they may try and vote on it or try and see it through, but you're not guaranteed to get what they're saying. So off the
absolutely.
bat, there's some automatic personal interest in it there, just in the desire to win the candidacy.
Yeah. Ken says people often create safe spaces at work, not realizing they have an important job. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I don't know. Anyway, it's just it's difficult being the person to come in that's new, that they don't know, and then and it's disruptive to their lifestyle or to their life or whatever, and not understanding the whys, even if you explain the whys, and people some people just don't like change.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. So
Well, I wouldn't try to get too hung up on what people are reacting to because that's ultimately what affects your, you just gotta just do your job and you
Yep,
know, headstrong, clear, tunnel vision. Uh,
yep.
Nobody else's stuff matters. You will not mess up my peace.
Exactly. And that's what I tell Ken all the time. That's one of the reasons why I like to do the traveling is because as much as I hate being away from him, I can't deal with the politics.
Mm.
It's at least being interim, I can somewhat stay neutral, and I don't have to deal with it. I mean, you still have to deal with politics, but at least you can breathe. Yep. Shout out to Cherry Doctor or no Strawberries and
Sponsor
Cream
us,
Dr.
Dr.
Pepper.
Pepper. I don't care what kind, just sponsor us, okay? I'll paint my face, Dr. Pepper. Put I'll, I'll tattoo DP across my cheek.
Cross your cheek. No, we don't want no tattoos on the face.
I need at least, I don't know, 200K.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, other than paprika, what did you guys eat tonight? Pap- Paprika told us.
I Yeah, we just had spaghetti. I didn't Spaghetti's one of those foods that you don't need a side for. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm. Except for maybe garlic bread.
Bread's fine, yeah, I guess so.
But
But is that really a side as it is a topping?
oh yeah, good point. I don't
Hmm.
know. Um, it's an addition. How's that?
Yeah.
um. All right. So we were supposed to review Groundhog Day. I love this movie. I give it a four
Yeah.
out of four.
I'm gonna go 3 out of 4. I do like this movie. It's not bad at all. The I feel like it hits things at the wrong time or the wrong point, and it feels like it was rushed in certain areas that I didn't like it to be rushed. And this movie was still a little bit long for my taste. Does that make sense? You know, I don't know. For a movie like this, it was an hour and 40. It's not very long. I get it, but the story was repetition. You know, how many times do you need to do the same thing over and over? It was really good, but I just felt it was. I'm gonna go down to the main reason I give it 3 instead of 4 is it felt rushed in certain spots. That's it. Other than
Well,
that, it's great.
I think it felt rushed because they didn't want to replay the same scene over and over again, like all of it. Otherwise, it would get boring. It's like, okay, I've seen this over and over and over and over and over again. So they had to
Yeah.
cut like they wanted you to see that this was a new day or whatever or what he was doing, but um like him dying all the time, like because he was getting so
He just
depressed
kept
that he just
yeah,
wanted to keep dying to get the day over with, right? And
yeah.
um, but um, it. But it had he had to keep reliving that day over and over and over again because it had to be perfect, and it had to teach him that he um has to embrace like something good that he thought was awful because he didn't even want to go to. He was tired of being in Puxatawny and tired
But
of
see
that.
this is my take on it. Also, I felt there was no underlying key point of this movie. Was the point find love or, you know, be a better person? I mean, it because or I mean, what is the key point of this? Is it a love story or is it a, you know, going in and coming out better
I,
story?
I think it's a little both. You got to
Well, it
find
is,
your.
but I mean, what is it more of a romance than it is a, a redemption, or what do you
I,
think?
I think it's more of a redemption because you got to find your inner self and be a better person if you're going to find
In
love.
order to find love, yeah.
And
Yeah.
oh
I
yeah,
uh, I I think that I could agree with that. I would see it more as a redemption. But I mean, as I'm watching it and I sit back and I remember watching it myself, I felt like it was a love story. Uh, I, I it was just too mixy for me. I wish they would have really hinted at what the key point of the movie was. I felt like what they could have done to make it seem like a coming out better. He could have been meaner at the beginning. He could have been worse, honestly. I felt he was just a grumpy person as far as I was concerned, you know. He wasn't that bad, I felt. And then he was just letting his inner childish man things come out if he knew there was no consequence. He just like robbing the bank and learning everything about that girl Nancy, and he was just being that any man would do that if he was in his shoes. I know I would. I mean, I don't know, but and then also I feel like I would also be like him at the same time, killing myself every day, like and just trying. I don't know. If I felt
Alyssa
bad for the guy.
Alyssa says a 3 out of 4. Okay, Pippa says a 4. Ken says I'm not a fan of him, but the lessons of self reflection is great, and sometimes it takes a failure to see the good in the day. And
Yeah.
the stalker mentality was really yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
a little bit cringe. But I mean, it wasn't. I don't know if you consider that stalker or just like he's not really stalking. He just eh, put yourself in the scenario. It's not stalker, like, because he wouldn't do this on a regular basis. He's just figuring it out to try and get it right, and uh, that's like trial by error. I mean,
yeah. Well, just
he,
like when he's with the one lady going into the theater or whatever, and
hmm
he's like Nancy walks by and obviously he doesn't know him and that at on that day and he goes, yeah, that was my former fiance. And she's like kind of looking at him like what?
That's funny. Yeah, that
uh
lady. Oh, she was pretty. I thought she was cute.
uh-oh. Natalie might think not like to hear that.
No, that's why I said it quietly.
That's okay. Ken has his famous girlfriends.
Jennifer Aniston is my
Yeah.
famous girlfriend.
Oh, that's Ken's too.
It's not.
That-
It's mine. How can it be your girlfriend when she's my girlfriend?
Yeah, I love this movie. It's one of my favorites, and I think it's because it's like it it makes him like almost have the perfect day, and it's so um um it's so perfect at the end. I mean, he learned how to do piano lessons and sculpt and do all this, and
Yeah,
and he got to show the town how awesome he is and save someone from choking and save the kid from falling from a tree, and people just
yeah.
also loved him, and it's like
The old
and
lady fixing the flat.
yeah. Hey, awesome
I
Elvin.
um, how long? How many days do you think he was there?
I don't know. I wish it said in the movie. I was just gonna ask him, like, I wish you were able to like actually count how many days. Like, was it 3 years? 6 months?
Maybe they should have at like some point, closer like towards like the third quarter of the movie, they should have told you like this is 2 months later, or
I
six
yeah. I
60 days or whatever. I don't know,
I wish they
but
would have because I mean he had to been it had to been like years if he sculpted and did piano lessons, and for the longest time he he was
I'm gonna
just
Google
trying.
it. I'm gonna Google and see if it
Yeah,
says anywhere.
bring up the IMDb. How are you
Well,
doing, Alvin?
I'm gonna just see if it maybe in the screenplay it said how many days he was there or something. I don't know. But no, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying hi to Alvin.
Hey, Ken, get your own old lady, okay? That's mine. She's that's my old lady.
Uh-oh,
Go
Ken and
find
Blake
your
are gonna
own.
fight now.
Go find your own.
um,
Go get J
yes,
Lo. She's like 62 also.
yes, the song from Sonny and Cher that played over and over and over again.
Yeah, I got you, babe. He's smashing the. He picks it up, throws it on the ground. I love
uh,
it. Uh, how many days was? Uh, uh, 33 years and 350 days.
nuh-uh.
It's
They repeated
that's
that for 33 years?
The movie itself never actually reveals the detail. However, WhatCulture.com ran some numbers and revealed the number was likely over 12,000 days, which would come to roughly 33 years. We see him relive Groundhog Day 38 times in the movie, while another 414 days were mentioned in the film. Holy cow. I didn't realize he was there that long. Yeah, I'd want to kill myself too after 33 years of I got you, babe. Every single morning.
And the same people coming up to him, and Ned, when he punched Ned Flanders or
How many
whatever his
times do you
name is.
think he punched him?
Well, it only showed he punched him once, but every time he comes
Oh,
up,
you're right, but I'm
I'm
wondering. I
Ned.
mean, hey, man, that's the fountain of youth right there, man.
Yeah, especially if he didn't age. I guess after 33 years of seeing the same people, I guess I don't know if I after became the next day, I don't know if I would want to stay in that town and have
That's
to live
crazy.
33 years in snow and
I
winter.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I would just be when summer came out, I would you'd be he's probably gonna die.
Well, like that one clip where he's like, "Why couldn't I?" Or when I was on the beach and that one girl he was with, and he's like, "Now that
Yeah.
was a good day. Why couldn't I relive that day over and
That
over
day
again?"
over and over.
Oh my gosh,
Mm.
33 years. Oh my
I didn't
goodness.
realize that really brings it into perspective for you there now because I didn't realize that it was that many times.
Wow.
Wow.
I was like thinking
That's
maybe a couple years or something, but I guess
wow.
if you're reliving the same day for 33 years, yeah, you're going to find all these extra skills to do in the day.
And then you figured out where this boy is going to be, whether you want to save him or not. He said, "That's the sixth time, and you still haven't thanked me."
I know, right? Oh my gosh. Wow. All right, what does more of the IMDb say?
um. Okay, let's go to the IMDb page for this movie.
Would you guys in the chat have thought that it was 33 years he relived?
Hell no, I know I wouldn't have. I didn't realize it was that long. I thought it was like maybe a year,
Yeah, I was thinking at least a couple
and
years.
at that I would have been like, "Golly, this is enough for me." I'm over here thinking after a year I'd want to kill myself.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, don't
He said, "I've tried everything."
no, but at least we have variation, Ken. We might live the same day, but but we have variation. Like
That's the thing about you create your own you can decide what's going to happen that day, and that was the only way he could get out of it by
well,
figuring it
and
out.
the other thing is He relived a work day. Could you imagine reliving a work day for 33 years and not having a day off?
Golly. I know there were some days he was like, I'm not going over there. I'm not going.
Well, I'm sure he did, but it's like, because what are they going to do? Fire him? you know,
Yeah, fire me.
I
I don't care.
I probably would have used it as a vacation and never went back to work, because what are you going to do? Get fired for 33 years? No, I mean, they're not going to know if you show up or not.
Wow, this movie was 1993. I felt like it was
Oh,
older
wow.
than that.
Yeah, I thought so too. I never thought of that either, Paprika.
Directed and written by Harold Ramis. Uh, he's a good director. He's had a lot of movies. He did a lot of work for this. So this is it. This must have been his I don't know, his child. He did Ghostbusters, he did Stripes, he did a lot of Bill Murray movies. Knocked Up, all the Ghostbusters, Year One, practically everything Ghostbusters was all him. That's
Wow.
crazy. Caddyshack 2, that was a flop, but he was a
Yeah.
part of Caddyshack 1. That's cool. How about that? Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. We did the rating already? Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. 1993. A narcissistic, self-centered weatherman finds himself in a time loop on Groundhog Day. That is our explanation of the movie. Short, sweet, and to the point. This
Yeah.
movie, that honestly, this movie's really simple. It's not hard to understand. Dude's going through the same thing over and over and over. Uh, okay. Yeah, a weatherman is reluctantly sent to cover a story about a weather forecasting rat, as he calls it. That's funny. He did refer to it as the rat.
Yeah.
I say that about my dogs all the time. I call them the rat dog or something like that. They're just the little dogs. So funny. uh on This is his fourth year on the story, and he makes no effort to hide his frustration. On awakening the following day, he discovers that it's Groundhog Day again and again and again. First, he uses this to his advantage, then comes to the realization that he is doomed to spend the rest of eternity in the same place, seeing the same people do the same thing every day. Let's see. Bill Murray was bitten twice by the groundhog during shooting. He had to have anti-rabies injections because of the bites.
Wow. Wouldn't
Because they were so severe.
Well, wouldn't they have like made sure that the animal is didn't have rabies and had all these shots and stuff, so if he did get bitten, he
Well, I don't know. How could they know?
well, I mean, just like you give the dogs rabies shots so they don't get rabies, right? Why don't you give it that to a rat too?
Fair enough.
Man, talk about having to go through that.
According to director Harold Ramis, most of the time when he tried to explain a scene to Bill Murray would interrupt and ask, "Just tell me good Phil or bad Phil." Harold Ramis originally wanted Tom Hanks for the lead role, but decided against it, saying that Hanks was too nice. Fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean, also, I could see him doing the role. Like it's not too far from Big. So, and Big was just it had just come out right before this. That was a what, 88 maybe, I think.
I can't remember.
89. It was late 80s. I know that for sure. So, it wasn't that old of a movie when this one came out. I could see it. The scene where Phil picks up the alarm and slams it onto the floor didn't go as planned. Bill Murray slammed down the clock, but it barely broke, so the crew bashed it with a hammer to give it the really smashed look. Excuse me. The film was not filmed in Puxatawney, Pennsylvania, but actually Woodstock, Illinois, just 50 miles from Bill Murray's hometown. There
Wait,
is no, huh?
I live near Woodstock, Illinois. Where was
He's
he
from
from?
Wilmette. Wilmette.
Interesting. Where's that, Ken? Because Woodstock, isn't that only an hour from where we were? Because
Uh, I guess so. This
interesting.
one says Wilmette,
Hmm.
Wilmette, Illinois.
Yeah, I think I know where that's at. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I did not know that.
Neither did I.
N-
There,
Now I
there is
gotta
no.
watch it now that again and see if I notice anything from Woodstock.
I wonder where they filmed the like the city scene, where that was at. If that was actually in Pennsylvania or not. In Pittsburgh. I mean, I don't know. Um, there is no small plaque that reads Bill Murray stepped here on the curb where Murray continually steps into a puddle. Oh wait, no, there is a small plaque. Right there. Remember where he kept stepping in there? Bill Murray stepped here on the curb. There is another plaque on the building wall at the corner that says Ned's Corner, where Phil Connors was continually accosted by Ned Ryerson. During the Ned scene, the sign for Woodstock Jewelers is clearly seen in the background. So,
Hmm.
hmm, how about that? Hmm. Oh.
Oh, oh,
Bill
so it was
Murray
north
and
of
oh,
us.
it's
I'm sorry.
north of you.
Yeah, it was by Wisconsin. Yeah, I remember skiing, Ken. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Bill Murray and Harold Ramis both have honorary grand marshals for Groundhog's Day celebration in Puxatawney, Pennsylvania. That's cool. Harold Ramis told the kids in the snowball fight to hit Bill Murray as hard as they could. Murray responded by throwing snowballs back as hard as he could. That's funny. The idea for Phil Connors reading to Rita Hansen while she sleeps came from Bill Murray. His wife drank too much champagne on their wedding night and fell asleep early, so Bill Murray read aloud to her until he fell asleep. That's cool. All the clocks in the diner are stopped, mirroring Phil Connors' predicament.
Hmm.
How about that? There are exactly 38 depicted in this film, either partially or in full. So that's how many days on screen that we actually saw.
Yeah.
But he mentions all these other days in it too. A family of groundhogs was raised for the production. So I don't know why they wouldn't have had your good point. They should have had all their shots. Doesn't make much sense. All right, let's go to the goofs. The goofs.
Yeah. Ken says all his love changed as soon as he helped the old man. Yeah. Well, the one goof, and I don't know if I'll show that. I don't know if you remember. So when it was towards the beginning, and Rita was up at the bar, and he goes, um, "Can I buy you a drink?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'll like whatever vermouth or whatever." And
Oh, and then
um,
he goes back the next day and orders the
yeah,
same
but
thing.
if you see on the counter, there's a full drink on the counter. And he's like, "Can I buy you a drink?" She goes, "Oh yeah." Well, whose drink is that then?
Huh. Good point.
So anyway, let's see if they mention that goof.
When Phil takes his joyride with Gus and Ralph, there isn't any snow, but the blizzard would have already hit the town by then. Remember? Because he was stuck.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How about that? On the first day, Phil wakes up in the hotel. He looks out the window and he sees certain cars moving and turning. The next day, at around 19 minutes, he looks out the window again and sees exactly the same cars, as though it is exactly the same time, but the time is different based on the radio show that is at a different point. So like they didn't line up the time right there
Oh,
between the two different days. That's one I didn't catch either.
uh,
Sunrise in early February in Puxatawny, Pennsylvania is not until around 7:25, so at 6 a.m. it would still be fully dark.
hmm,
It
okay.
did look it looked it looked most of these are just factual errors. They don't have much given me. If you want to read those aren't very very much to go off of there. Let's look at some of these good quotes that are in it.
I like the part when he's like, and oh yeah, and they say don't drive on the railroad tracks, and then the
Hey, I
drunk guy's
gotta
like,
agree with that one.
yeah.
Do you ever have deja vu, Mrs. Lancaster? I don't think so, but I could check with the kitchen.
I know.
That's funny. Whenever they're at the bar, Phil is asking him, he said, "What would you do if you were stuck in one place and every day was exactly the same and nothing that you did mattered?" Ralph, that about sums it up for me. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. You want a prediction about the weather? You're asking the wrong Phil. I'll give you a winter prediction. It's gonna be cold, it's gonna be gray, and it's gonna last you the rest of your life.
Oh
That's
yeah.
funny. Do you ever have Rita asked him, do you ever have deja vu? He said, "Didn't you just ask me that?" uh, uh, this day was perfect. You couldn't have planned a day like this. Well, you can. It just takes an awful lot of work.
Yeah, 33 years apparently.
That's funny. Mm. Oh, this one's sweet. It's beautiful. I don't know what to say. He said, "I do. Whatever happens tomorrow for the rest of my life, I'm happy now because I love you."
Oh, yeah, that's so sweet.
Why are you here? You said stay, so I stayed. I can't even make a collie stay.
That part was funny.
That's funny. There's a few more, but y'all can go through them and check them out if you like. Let's look at how much this movie made and all that. The budget for this movie was 14.6 million. Opening weekend, it almost made its money back at 12.5 million, and the gross over it made nearly 6 times its money at 71 million, and that's worldwide and in the U.S. and Canada. Hour and 41-minute runtime. Pretty cool, pretty cool. That sums up your IMDb page for Groundhog Day. Good
All right.
movie. Good movie.
Yes,
I liked it a lot.
I did too. One of my favorite movies. All right, so what are we watching next week, you guys?
What are we watching next week? She said a Triscuit, a biscuit. Uh, I have no idea. Come on, chat, help us out here.
What do
We
you
need
guys want to
some
watch next week?
good movie reviews. What's something that we hmm, we haven't done a Quentin Tarantino movie in a long time.
Alyssa says, "My Girl" or "Fly Away Home."
I really like My Girl, Macaulay Culkin. We haven't done anything like that. My Girl really reminds me of this movie that I liked. It was called Lucas. Did you ever see that movie?
Yes, I have. I'm trying to think of what it was about, though. Why
It's
am
about
I?
a little boy that was just trying to be popular at school, but uh, he was really poor and he wasn't really athletic, but he was really smart. And it had the same girl from the Goonies in it. I can't remember what her name was. Oh goodness. Anyway, and it had Charlie Sheen in it too.
Hmm,
This is a really good movie. I liked it. Lucas. It's older than My Girl, but hey, My Girl's great. I love it. I'm cool with that.
is everyone else okay with "My Girl"?
You guys ready to have your feelings hurt?
And cry like a baby.
I know. Every time I see that movie, I'm just so sad. I feel terrible. Poor little boy.
It goes to show you, though, that um, you really have to make sure that people with the allergies have an EpiPen or something with them.
Did they even have EpiPens back then?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't
That
know.
was that was way before I became a nurse.
Did he
That's
even know that he had that allergy? Let's stop. Let's stop before we'll get into it next
yeah,
next week. Let's just go ahead and
yeah.
pick that one. I'm cool with that.
Okay. Ken, yep, Ken says "My Girl" it is. All right, I guess that's the movie.
We're already swimming around
Reviewing.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ken has his EpiPen in a med pack. Yep, because he's allergic to bees and stuff like that too.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah,
Man,
so
poor Ken. I don't have any allergies that I know of,
I don't, but um, well, that yeah, like you said, that I
except
know of.
just like springtime allergies.
Yeah,
That's
and
just irritation, though.
sometimes I get that, sometimes not. Depends.
It depend.
But,
Honestly, it depends on how cold the winter was.
mm.
If it was really cold, then the worse I get in the springtime.
Oh, hi, Gfo. Thanks. And of course, leave it to Gfo to tell us. Epinephrine has been certified for use within the United States since 1939, but has been employed as early as 1901 for medical use. The recommended dosage varied broadly before and even after the patenting of the EpiPen in 1977 and its official approval by FDA for use to treat anaphylaxis in 1987. So, yes, it
So
was
yeah, it
available.
was it was just barely available.
Yeah. So
It
they
was
might not have been like well educated to people that if you have allergies to have it.
what year did My Girl come out? I want to know now.
I wonder if it was before 87. No, it
Because
had to been. I
he
thought it
would
was in
have
the
had to
90s.
have, but they would have had to have gotten it because it said if it back then, if it wasn't FDA approved, you weren't allowed to have it at all. Period.
Yeah,
And I
it was
know that
approved.
because of the movie, a great movie. If you haven't seen it, it's called The Dallas Buyers Club. It's got Matthew
Yes.
McConaughey in it.
Yeah, but
Great movie.
when he got HIV.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, it's a great movie.
absolutely. But GFL says that it was approved in 1987. So when was my girl? I
Let's
know we're
see.
getting ahead of ourselves,
But I would like to know.
yeah.
1991,
So yeah, right
most
after.
definitely. Or
But
was
yeah,
the movie based in an older time? Or no? Was it? I don't know.
I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and find out next week.
Ba ba da ba ba ba. It does not. Oh, wait. Yes, it does. 1972. So,
Oh,
no, it was not available to him.
yeah, at least we're, yeah, in the time. Well, okay. Well, at least we know that information before we get into next week.
Sorry, we already fished into it. We're not gonna spoil it if you haven't seen it, but shame on you if you haven't seen it.
Ken says, I think Dallas Buyers Club needs to be on a short list for future visits. Yeah, especially that would be
Absolutely. You know what? Why don't we just select that for 2 weeks? Let's do Dallas Buyers Club.
okay. We can do My Girl next week and Dallas Buyers Club the following week, because that would be good because it'll come. We can like talk about how far um it's come from when it first came out, I believe in the
Hmm.
70s, the HIV, and then until now. And now they even have meds now that will even prevent transmission,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
meds that will um
It
prolong
no
your life for a
longer,
long
yeah,
time.
right. It's no longer life threatening. It's not a life threatening disease anymore. It's just
No.
it's something that you live with now. It's almost people that have asthma almost. I mean, it's much, that's a, that's just an example. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
there's two totally different things, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, yeah, you're absolutely right. They've made major, I mean, there's a lot of controversy too that we'll get into, especially in the medical field. And I'm always one for having a talk about stuff like that. It's exciting to me. So cool, my girl, and then we'll do Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, absolutely. So did you guys want to do a few minutes of trivia, or
I mean, we got 10 minutes, or we could call it. I don't. It's
it's
up to
up to you,
you. You
chat?
look tired.
Well, it's just like I said, it's been stressful at work, and
Yeah.
um,
You're an hour ahead of me, aren't you?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's already 8:30. It's bedtime for you.
Yeah. Um, so give us a football update while we have a few
Oh
minutes.
my goodness, I don't even want to. Gosh. Dallas signs hires uh Brian Schottenheimer, son of famous head coach Marty Schottenheimer. This dude has not had any head coaching experience. Jerry Jones is driving this team into the ground, and I am boycotting. I'm no longer buying anything Dallas product. I'm not going to any games. I'm not watching any of the football games until Jerry makes a change. I refuse. Uh,
Wow.
I mean, Jerry needs to stop GMing this team. He's driving it into the ground. Okay, we are the sixth winningest team. We have the sixth most wins in the NFL in the past 25 years. And for some reason, Jerry thinks that that is some form of praise or something good to be happy about. I don't know what you're talking about. How many Super Bowls have we had? How many playoff wins do we have? I mean, come on, man. Get real. We have like 6 playoff wins in the past 20 years. That's ridiculous. Haven't even seen an NFC championship game in over 30 years. It's ridiculous. I don't know what you're talking about, Jerry. This team is not, the standard is much higher for your fan base than you have set it at. And I'm just tired of it. The guy is, he's going to be GMing this team till he's on his deathbed, and it just makes me mad. So Get ready, buckle in for the long haul, but I'm not going to be a part of any of Jerry's crap. Other than that, we've got the somehow made it to the Super Bowl Chiefs and the miserable Philadelphia Eagles, which are in the Dallas Cowboys division, and I hate them royally. If there's a way, somehow, some way that both teams can lose this game, that's what I want. And
Well,
that's all
that
I
can't
have.
happen. Somebody's got to win, right?
Yeah. The Boston Celtics are on a great run right now. They're doing good. 26-8 in their last 30 or 35 games, I believe, or 40 games, I believe, something like that. It's really quite a great stat. They're doing so good. They had a pretty bad run a couple weeks ago. They were like 5-5, but ever since then they've stepped it up. So Boston still looking like they're gonna go and chase for a ring. That's who I'm hoping for. I'm just backing my Celtics now. Uh, Spring baseball is about to start up soon. Hopefully, we get a good year out of the Braves. You like the Braves, don't you? You're an Atlanta fan.
I don't watch sports, and
Come
but
on, you got to root
but
for the home team.
but I hi Simple Meals. Thanks for coming in. No, if anything, I would be a Cubs fan because I'm originally from
Oh,
Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah, yeah. You're not a White
Well,
Sox fan?
no. My cousins are and man, it was a rival between us Martins and them because man, they were White Sox, we were Cubs. It's like ooh,
Well, Midland has ties to Chicago. A long time ago, back in the early 2000s, the Cubs owned our minor league team that's here in Midland, and they were called the Midland Cubs for a long
really
time. Yeah, and then they sold the minor league team to the Oakland Athletics, and then they changed to the Midland Rockhounds. So ever since then, we've
awesome.
been owned by the Athletics. But yeah, Midland used to have a minor league team that farmed players that would go play for the Chicago Cubs.
Wow, interesting.
Hmm.
Fun fact. All
If
right.
you didn't know that.
All right.
But
Okay, let's do the riddle. What
let's do it.
has 13 hearts but no other organs?
A deck of cards.
Yes, very good.
I'm a
All right.
gambler.
Any last words?
Thank you guys for coming into the chat. Uh, you guys have been great. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, everybody. Dr. Pepper, sponsor us as always. And thank you for being interactive. It helps us out. Hope you guys are enjoying the movies that we pick. We try to pick something that everybody knows or has seen, and we get to cut into it a little bit. So
Yes.
thank you
Yeah.
guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. You're trying to figure out a creature, huh, Gifo? All right, you
Hey,
guys.
that's
Yes.
the gambler's heart right there telling you what it is. I
Yeah.
was like, she said 13. I was already, I mean, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, there's 13 cards in a suit of, and then you said hearts. I was like, oh man, I got it.
Yes, and yes, just like what Blake said, thank you for making this so much interacting. It makes our life easier. And remember, next week it's going to be My Girl, and then after that, it'll be
Dallas Buyers Club.
oh yes, Dallas Buyers Club. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. And remember, you're all beautiful inside and out. Thank you very much for coming in. And the quote of the night is from E. E. Cummings. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. And thank you, Gifo, for that. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you
Bye.
guys. Take care.